Bezrat Hashem played it on the wrong part, but it was great hearing the trumpets, the instruments, the 50,000 from the Beis HaMikdash that Kira knows so well about, the 100,000 voices. Kira, we got these boining on the Torah. So good. Chaver, welcome. One day until Shabbos Kodesh. 48 days until Purim. 48 days until Purim. 63 days of intensive longing. It'll be revealed to us in 63 days, but we're counting down. We're counting down. We need the contents. So good. It's really great to see everyone. Oh wow, we got Shosh and Liora. What a special night! What a special night. We got the sisters on.
Indeed.
My husband's also here.
We got a party over here. It's a mishmar.
Full house.
Thursday night. Everyone's ready for mishmar.
Full house.
I feel the shame, Klal Yisrael. For Pesach Reuven ben Yosef Sarah, Bracha Bas Yehudis, Miriam Dodi Bas Chani Ocheved, Yonah Bas Basia, Shir Bas Basia, Sainer Reuven ben Money, and every Neshama and Klal Yisrael in the world. Ribbana Shalom. You've also let us know that a person who's arrogant is like an idol, since the idolatrous object must be burned. Torah laws view as if have already been grounded down to nothing. This is why people who are arrogant are unable to open their mouths to say a single holy word. It is as if they have already been ground down to nothing, and so they lack the necessary vocal apparatus. When a person speaks words of Torah, they ought to shine, as the sages said. Open your mouth and your words will shine. But when the Torah comes to the mouth of someone who talks and acts arrogantly, not only does it not shine to him, but the very light of the Torah is darkened by the thick veil of materialism. Chaver, Bezrat Hashem, through this tefillah, there's much more. We should literally eradicate the arrogance inside of us and be as humble as we could be so the Torah could shine. So before we start, before we go with the Halacha of the Maisa, we're just going to rewind to Parshas Yitro. I came across this amazing, little Torah tidbit. We know Yoni Strassen is sharing them to the whole Am for Shabbos. Thank you so much for picking them up for all of her Aliya. Reb Aharon of Karlin, Parshas Yitro says when Israel camped by the mountain, in front of the mountain, he gave a little eitzah, a little one-liner of what that really means. He says, wherever Jews camp, a mountain stands in front of them. However, we're always going to have that mountain in front of us. It's mamash our mission to climb up that mountain and to know that there's another mountain waiting on the other side. But mamash to have that resilience, that resistance. Woo! We could learn so much from the informal and formal soldiers. Wow, halacha l'maisa. Halacha l'maisa. There is a disagreement about whether the chazan should bow at the beginning of the Ma'ayin Sheva when saying Baruch Atah, just like at the start of Shemona Esrei. Although Rav Yashiv in the Sitz Eliezer hold that he does, Rav Sararia Dibelitsky and Rav Shlomo Fisher contend that prevalent custom is not to bow down during Ma'ayin Sheva. Davening concludes with Aleinu, though many communities add either Adon Olam or Igdal. That's the other one. Chevra, Sichot 19. We're moving along as Shabbos. It's Mishmar. We got the Reb Aharon of Karlin, the mountains. We got the arrogance, or getting rid of the arrogance. And we got the Halacha l'maisa going. Breaking the shackles of the Yetzer Hara. Sichot 19. The Rebbe said, I have great longing to institute a rule that each person should study a fixed amount of Torah, of the sacred literature, every single day without fail. Like what we're doing right now. Unbelievable. He said that this should apply even to those who are very far from holiness, who think they're far from holiness, but really they're so in. Even those who are caught in the evil trap and sin consistently, chas v'shalom, the strength of the Torah is so great that it can free them from their sins, from their habitual sins, from their consistent sins. The Torah has the ability, the power, the potency to get rid of it, to get rid of that bad, to clean the room out, to allow Hashem in. Even if the worst sinners would take upon themselves a firm obligation to study a set amount every single day, they would be able to escape from the evil snare. But now that Kira is on, we have to use the husks. The husks. Get rid of the husks. The Torah's strength is extremely great. We have to understand, Chavra, what it means to be together right now, seeing all the faces with all the Chavra joining. People are in Sfat, people are in Ariel, people are in Tel Aviv, people are in Krakow. Just bought a ticket to New York City. I mean, Chavra, this is unbelievable. We're in all different places in the world. We're coming together. What's going on? The vibrations right now is beyond that. We don't even know what it's doing to us. The Rebbe's entire focus and desire was directed towards the goal of doing good and serving Hashem without sophistication, right? Having the simplicity in our avodas Hashem. Every good and holy thing can be done with absolute simplicity. We shouldn't overcomplicate the fact that we should be opening up a book or learning some Torah, even on our devices every single day. Or just talking to a friend, reaching out to a friend. I mean, how much Torah can you learn from speaking to a friend? And doing so many other things. Even by just looking at a background, you're absorbing Torah. It's mamish, we have to be simplistic about it. It's not that sophisticated. One can study much Torah, do much good, and spend much time in prayer, all without any sophistication at all. I think this is really important, because if we look at the first part of Rabbi Nachman's, the first part of the Sicha, Rabbi Nachman's talking about how Torah could free someone, could rid someone of the husks, of the other side, of the Yitzhar, the Sitra Achra. And it's so important because a sophisticated Yid, Chas v'Shalom, right, will say, I'm a bad person. Why, who am I to learn Torah? It's such a holy work. That's such a holy book. We're not going to say the opposite. Have simplicity. You are holy. Look at the holiness. Look at the good points inside of you. And open it up, even if you don't feel like you're worthy. Even though we have to work to know that we are worthy. And mamish, just by opening up that book, will let you shine. It'll make you feel like you're shining. The Rebbe continually exhorted us to always be happy. Much of this discussion is recorded in his holy works. However, there are countless other times that he discussed this. At the end of the day, Rabbi Nachman says, according to Rabbi Ari Rosenfeld, that Rabbeinu's strongest desire was to get his Hasidim, to get us to use action, to break ourselves while learning Torah. It's not going to be easy to even open up, right? I always joke about with, it's not a good joke. It's really, now that I'm bringing up to the Chevra, it's really not a good joke. There are some Sfarim out there where they may not be so openable. I don't know if you guys know, first of all, openable, I just made up the word, it's Chazak word. But there's some Sfarim where you open it up and it closes on its own, right? You mamash have to rip it, for it to stay open. The Chaver know what I'm talking about, right? So even just opening up a sefer takes much work and exertion. So Rabbi Nachman was all about that, getting his Hasidim to work and to be energized while learning Torah. It shouldn't be easy, but mamash, the more we work, the more. Yes, bring into the letters of flesh. We'll be able. No, that's not the translation. I'm trying to work on the Hebrew, Chavra. I'm trying to work on the Hebrew. Samson, reveal it. End of the Sicha. End of the Sicha.
You hear me? You hear me?
I can't hear you. All right, so Chavra, the mic is out. The mic is out. The letters, Chavra, have a lei basar. They're not hardened. If we just look at them, will be able to, Samson, am I saying good or no? It's not good. Not good. All right, questions, comments, please feel free.
Oh, dude, I got what Samson wrote. Shever, to break, the same letters as Basar, meat, and your heart, piece of meat. Something along those lines.
And the class, the Basar Velev.
I don't know, until the Rebbe fixes his mic.
Is it working now? Can you hear me?
Oh, then there's the Bresla.
Oh,
Oh, breast.
Can you
Basar
hear me?
Velev.
Gosh.
It works? Can you
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
me?
it works.
So this is the Torah. To break it, open the book. And the same way you break a book, you have to also break open the heart. The heart is a very earthy thing, and very meaty. You break it open. The lave basar, but sometimes the basar are improperly cooked. If not cooked enough, it's too chewy. Cooked too much is also too chewy. You can't get through it. The only way you can get through it, the only way you can get through a proper heart, cooked basar, cooked lave, is if it's cooked just right. And Baruch Hashem, our hearts are cooked just right. We just have to know how to cut it and cook it properly. Give it the right spices, put it under the right heat. It only comes by giving it a little, by working with it. Like everyone will tell you the best way is to you gotta not only marinate, but you gotta work in the spices, give the pepper into the basar, with a massage, the niggin, see the Torah here, the fire there. But everyone knows also in terms of cooking, you don't leave the steak on for a whole hour. Leave a few minutes, 5 minutes on this side, 5 minutes on that side. Voila, you have a devout steak that's ready to go. So too with the heart. Don't leave it on the burner for 5 hours, 10 hours. At the beginning, a few minutes here, a few minutes there.
Such a strong Torah.
This is how you make it. This is how you make a basar live. Still Torah here, still Torah there. Not,
Wow.
So strong.
The covered Shabbos, Deborah. The covered Shabbos. Maybe Zocha to cook our hearts for
You
Shabbos.
know how easy you can hear me? You know how easy it is to say, okay, 30 seconds, I learn one line. So easy. You know how hard it is to say 30 seconds, I learn one line of Torah? So hard. So we have to figure out there's a balance. Baruch Hashem, the Am Yisrael is the king of balances. Everyone knows that.
You know, I was revisiting one of our old Rebs, the Reb David Goggins in Jackie's to learn from in Yeshiva. He has an audio book you could listen to that it's a half podcast too. I'm learning all the new secrets now that weren't in the book. But the first 2 chapters I just finished last night. It's a lot of things similar to what we're talking about today. Specifically, the way this angle of the Torah you discussed today of you kind of being able to learn about yourself from it. What Reb David says is he has a whole first chapter on all the excuses of the world. He says, he tells us about his childhood and what he calls the bad hand of cards that he was dealt. It goes through, he says there's so many people that could say so many things about the reasons why they shouldn't be able to make it, about why they should just be another statistic. So one of his terms, he should have just been another statistic. And a lot of us maybe unfortunately could say that about ourselves. There's so many things we could say, we don't have to make it, or it's reasonable for us not to succeed or not to thrive because we've been dealt one thing one way or another. And he says, first of all, you have to realize, you have to look at yourself and take that not as things that hold you down, but as jet fuel. First thing he did was join the Air Force. as we all have to do either formally or informally. Join the Air Force and use every single ounce, the bad cards as jet fuel to propel us to where we want to be. And the second thing he says is really the Torah concept. He says it about an actual mirror. Well, no, he calls it the accountability mirror. But we know as well, a lot of times the Torah is referred to as a mirror, where when you learn it, you can see back yourself. You know, Reb Jack was saying sometimes it's hard to open the book. Sometimes it's very, very difficult to look in the mirror and admit who you actually see, not who you want to see or who you used to see, who maybe you're going to see, but who's right there, right now, the challenges you're facing right now. And he says he would start talking to himself, screaming, admitting everything on a very real, raw level. Nothing soft, nothing open. And that's when he shaved his head for the first time, the real inspiration. Took off all the klipos, all the husks. And B'ezrat Hashem, we can maybe, I'll use that jet fuel, that motivation to look at the Torah in this way. All the books we study and hone in on that reflection, allow us to see that reflection, both in the real mirrors and the books, the Torah, see who we really are and what we need to do. Tell it to yourself, let the Torah tell it to you. Because it becomes clear once you let it in. Is at the show. I'm trying, working.
Amen. Amen. Chevra, any other questions, comments, please feel free. Hurari, the Galishes. Such a fiery Chevra, the covered Shabbos, Chevra.
Jack, I just want to say one thing, that me and Josh's grandma, our grandma recently passed and it's her birthday today. And so we're so honored that you have these nightly Zooms, because it means so much to learn for her and to learn with all of you guys. And it was so beautiful. Thank you, everyone who shared tonight. It was really very uplifting for us.
What's the name?
My grandma, Itkah Bat Lazer, Zichron Libracha.
Who? One more time. Can you type it in the chat?
You want me to write it in the chat?
Yes, please.
We're in Neshama of Aliya. Wow.
Man, thank you so much.
Lazer.
Amen. Thank you.
Wow. I'm so happy you guys came on. So happy you guys came on. What a powerful night. Just made the night so much more sweeter. So happy. Like it's so geschmack. It's so geschmack that we have a platform every single night just to see the faces, just to hear the voices. Like, I'm just so grateful for you guys. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. Chaver, we should all be zocha.
Can I say one thing? Don't you guys get it? Not you guys, but the world at large needs to get it. It's so easy to say 2 words to a person and let it their whole life. You know what the words "Good Shabbos" means? It means I love you. It means that I care enough to go out of my day and take those 3 seconds. You know how easy it is to go on the phone and go into WhatsApp and say "Good Shabbos," 2 words. You know how long that takes? 30 seconds, not even. Put in a sticker, send it to the world. You know what you can do for a person with that? And you can be Mashiach with that. I'm not saying I know that because it happened, but it happened. You see, Mashiach's already here. He is. He's among us. He's already in the Zoom. Oh, I don't know. Mamish is in the Zoom. Because every year has the Mashiach in it. Oh, that's not a cop-out. Don't give me that. It's cop-out. No, Mamish, it's not. Mashiach is the aspect of prayer. Mashiach is the aspect of dibur. Mashiach is the aspect of me reaching out and saying Good Shabbos. I want to say such words. Therefore, I have this aspect of Mashiach. Therefore, I can bring Mashiach already. Rocky left, he's gone.
Oh, Kira.
Kira left.
Dude, he was running to wish people good Shabbos.
I hope so. Wow, that's all I have to say.
Wow. Chevra, that's our objective this Shabbos, to take 10 people on our contact list and wish them good Shabbos.
So easy.
That's
So
our
easy.
That's our objective. Chevra, everyone should be healthy, happy, successful. Liora, Shosh, Uradi, Reb Samson. Chevra, we should all have the best Shabboses in the world, the highest Shabboses in the world. And Bezrat Hashem on Sunday, I'll be in Chutz La'aretz, I'll be in America, and we'll be doing Zoom there, normal time, and we'll fire it up.
Why the Clippers?
By the way, through the speakers of my computer, you guys need to be sending the Kedusha, the air of Eretz Yisrael. I don't know how Zoom's able to do that.
We need to spread the
microphone.
Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael there.
Yeah.
Spread the Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael there.
Amen.
Malchim the Eretz Yisrael.
I don't think I'm showering. It's just gonna stench Israel. Amazing. Chevra, be well.